This short documentary on the PM-WANI has been produced by the Department of Telecom, UP West LSA Meerut on the holy occasion of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As you know, the PM-WANI basically stands for the Prime Minister's Wi-Fi Access Network Interface. This short documentary will contain 5 different sections, and the agenda in each sections will be introduction, scheme, architecture, benefits of PM-WANI, and its business viability. Under introduction, we are going to make some statements, and finally in the summary we can see how the PM-WANI scheme is going to bridge a gap which has been left in the rural communication segment in our country. The statements are: the internet is self-empowering infrastructure for a citizen in the 21st century, and this possibly is the best invention of this millennium. Access to the internet is considered a basic human right by many countries, including India. The World Bank observed that a 10% increase in internet penetration leads to a 1.4% increase in GDP. In India, access to data is still limited due to poor coverage of fiber or telecom and poor penetration of broadband or internet services in the rural area. The broadband in India is defined as an always-on internet connection with download speed of 512 kbps or above, whereas in most of the developed countries, the internet speed has been defined as something more than 2 Mbps or above. The total internet users in the country is 776.45 millions, out of which 50.14 million is narrowband subscribers and 726.32 million is the broadband subscribers. There are 375 internet service providers, the ISPs, offering broadband and narrowband internet service in India. The top 5 operators constituted almost 98% of the market share. As you can see in the diagram, that the market share has been mainly dominated by the Reliance Jio with 55.27%, Bharti Airtel 23.51%, Vodafone Idea 16.30%, and BSNL is approximately 3.52%. Wi-Fi is basically a complementary service to the internet, not competing technology to the LTE or the 4G. Public hotspots hold an important place in the last mile delivery of the broadband to users. Wi-Fi is much easier to scale than adding a new LTE or a 4G tower. It bolsters the connectivity inside buildings, airports, etc., where LTE or the 4G penetration is inherently limited. It allows for offloading from the telecom networks to ease congestion and will be crucial when the next billion IoT devices come online. Yet there are only 13,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots in India compared to 13 million in France and 10 million in the United States of America. As per the global ranking, India is the 89th country out of 149 countries by average internet connection speed, and India ranks 97th by average peak connection speed. The average internet user speed in India is 42% users they get 4 Mbps, 19% users get 10 Mbps, and 10% users get more than 15 Mbps. The COVID-19 pandemic has necessitated the delivery of stable and high-speed broadband internet data services to an increasingly large number of subscribers in the country. These include the areas which do not have the 4G mobile coverage. All the statements that we made in the earlier occasions, then we get a summary like internet is a basic necessity, almost a fundamental right to every citizen, either in the urban or in the rural area. The Wi-Fi route to high-speed internet delivery has not been optimally exploited in India. Due to no scale of economy, the private telecom players are not operating in rural areas at par with the city areas. Rural areas have a tremendous potential to grow if enabling environments are set around. As we know, almost 50% of the Indian economy still rests on rural areas. The rural populace must be brought under broadband coverage for financial inclusion and demonstration of the digital benefits. That's how basically the PM-WANI has become very significant for spreading the internet services to the rural communities and the areas where the 4G penetration has not been there, and that may cause a significant contribution towards the financial inclusion of those category of the citizens. Now we go to the second segment and we discuss about the PM-WANI scheme. The Union Cabinet, headed by the Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, on 19 December 2020 approved the proposal of the Department of Telecom to proliferate the broadband through the public Wi-Fi networks under the framework of Prime Minister's Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, that is PM-WANI. This framework takes forward the goal of National Digital Communications Policy 2018 of creating a robust digital communications infrastructure. The proliferation of broadband across the length and breadth of the country is an essential ingredient of the digital India. Towards this objective, it is envisaged to leverage the public Wi-Fi network for delivery of broadband services. The PM-WANI policy plans to empower virtually 1 crore public data creation centers, PDCCs, to offer the Wi-Fi broadband services, and the plan aims to establish 2 million hotspots by the end of the year 2021. Broadband penetration is an important engine of the economic development. The Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, during the inauguration of this PM-WANI, said that the historic PM-WANI scheme will revolutionize the tech world and significantly improve the Wi-Fi availability across the length and breadth of India. It will further ease of doing business and ease of living. Now in the third segment, we discuss the PM-WANI architecture. It has basically 4 blocks: the Public Data Office PDO, the Public Data Office Aggregator, the PDOA, App Provider, and the Central Registry. The purposes of these 4 blocks: the PDO basically, it gives the Wi-Fi access point and deliver the broadband services at the last mile to the subscriber. It doesn't require any registration. Any entity can become a PDO. Whereas the aggregator, the PDOA, it performs the functions of authorization and accounting. Only the registered companies can become a PDOA, and registration is very simple. It will be given within 7 days by Department of Telecom. App provider develops an application to register the users and discover the WANI compliant Wi-Fi hotspots in the nearby area and display the same within the app for accessing the internet services. The Central Registry maintains, in accordance with the WANI architecture and specification, the details of app providers. To begin with, the Central Registry will be maintained by CDOT. Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, the WANI, ensures the interworking among systems and software applications used by these distributed entities, that is PDOA, PDO, App Provider, and Central Registry. The PM-WANI architecture, as you can see from here, is basically a modular design. At one end, the users are there connected to the aggregator. The public data office is basically maintained by the VLE. That data office is connected to an aggregator The aggregator in turn is connected to a internet cloud, and the PDOA is also connected to a central registry and an app server. A PDOA can connect more than thousands of PDOs, and it all depends how many users are there in a particular PDO and how much bandwidth is required to be extended through the optical fiber connectivity. The potential user who wants to use broadband through public Wi-Fi will need to download the relevant app, get authenticated, and thereafter access broadband at any public Wi-Fi hotspot. When the user reaches a public Wi-Fi hotspot, the app on the mobile phone will show various available networks. The user can then choose the public Wi-Fi network of choice, pay an amount either online or through voucher, and use the network till the balance is exhausted. It is expected that the public Wi-Fi broadband, the user experience and quality of service for broadband will be improved significantly. Now we discuss the PM-WANI benefits. The number one is that it will create a new wave of internet users. To connect a new wave of users, not just to commercial and entertainment options, but also to education, telehealth, and agriculture extension, and bring greater accountability to the government by boosting transparency and interactivity. Number two, it's an enabler for the digital India. The scheme would enable small shopkeepers to provide Wi-Fi service. This will boost incomes as well as ensure youth get seamless internet connectivity. It can also strengthen the Digital India mission. Number three, cutting the red tape. Through PM-WANI, the government is hoping that by cutting through the layers of bureaucracy and eliminating licenses and fees, can make it easy even for a tea shop owner to register online as a service provider and opening up of new income avenues. Number four is the domino effect on economy. Public Wi-Fi system on the WANI architecture can lead to 10% increase in net penetration, which in turn can lead to a 1.4% increase in GDP. Bridging the digital divide, PM-WANI can result into a rapid scale-up of the internet in rural areas, which will be transformative given the low level of the penetration, approximately 27.57 subscribers per 100 population in 2019. Wi-Fi linked to broadband fiber service can be the fastest route to bridging the existing gap. The low-cost alternative, upcoming mobile technologies such as 5G may provide good quality data, but they involve high investment in the new spectrum, connectivity equipment, and regular subscriber fees. The WANI system offers a way forward to connect low revenue customers. Sachets of around 2 rupees onwards are also available there. Now we look into the financial viability model. The digitization in India is now moving at a rapid pace. For the last 2 to 3 years, the data consumption in our country is growing at a very fast pace. India consumed 12 GB data per person per month on an average in 2019, which is the highest consumption globally. Data consumption is expected to double over the next 5 years. Demand growth is equally fast-paced in rural areas as well as in the urban areas, fueled by the various government initiatives for entertainment, information, educational, and commercial needs, what can be called as the ease of living needs. Even as the number of internet users has been growing rapidly, there is still a population with no access to internet, particularly in rural areas, less developed states, and in poorer households. It is believed that the data consumption as well as availability is hampered with a lack of investment by the TSPs and ISPs in low density and low paying capacity rural or the semi-urban areas. On the one hand, TSPs, ISPs are reluctant to serve these low density non-remunerative areas, while on the other hand, we have infrastructure created by Railtel, NOFN, GAIL, BSNL, etc., which remains highly underutilized. And very importantly, the price of data in India is the lowest in the world. It's only approximately rupees 12 per 1 GB. Worldwide, 60% of the consumers use internet over the Wi-Fi, whereas only 10% Indians use internet over the Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi being a low-cost option to reach unserved citizens and grow the economy, it can revolutionize the internet penetration and accessibility in India. PM-WANI is the right tool to achieve the objectives of creating millions of interoperable Wi-Fi hotspots in the country and democratizing the content distribution and broadband access to millions at affordable rates, thereby facilitating financial inclusion of the unbanked populace, and that would be the biggest gain for the country as a nation. Many of the attempts have been made even in the past, and even by the giants like Facebook, Google in India. For example, the Facebook had introduced its express Wi-Fi service in India to help mobile network operators or internet service providers to build, operate, grow, and monetize their Wi-Fi business. However, the program was shut down later. Similarly, Google had partnered with Railtel to provide free Wi-Fi at Indian railway stations. Started in 2015, the scheme was expanded to 400 railway stations. It registered 2.6 crore user logins in a month and over 9491 terabytes of aggregated data. It had the same fate as Facebook's Express Wi-Fi service and was shut down. The main causes of the failure was that there was no focus to the niche market. For example, the sachets of rupees 2, rupees 10 or rupees 20 was not introduced by those operators. Number 2, no open architecture. PM1e is a fully open architecture. Area of coverage was not significant and no concept to operate in cohesion, not to replace one. That is one of the significant advantage the PM-WANI brings to us. It does not want to replace any one of the working mechanism or any scheme, but it works in full cohesion with the existing systems or the technologies. You can see the business models and the ISPs in the transport corridors, in the public venues, in the office buildings, local entrepreneurs, and it's a non-exhaustive list. All can be served with the PM-WANI scheme. The lowest mobile tariffs globally is in India, and there has to be adequate business case for the Wi-Fi as well. If you look into the telcos, there will be cost savings of approximately 8% if you are using the Wi-Fi network and offloading a big part of the telecom network into the Wi-Fi network. It has a potential of offloading approximately 40% of the traffic. Consumption may increase by around 10%, the retention of approximately 5% reduction in churn, and the voice over the Wi-Fi, there is a possibility to grow approximately at 5%. As such, if you are bringing in the Wi-Fi technology, in addition to offloading the traffic in the telecom network, it gives adequate case for a business as well as reduction in savings. Often it is believed that the existing MNOs and ISPs can provide Wi-Fi, then where is the need for aggregators in India? So you can see the examples given over there, and one of the state, that is Chhattisgarh, has been discussed. With 6,000 ward Gram Panchayats in Chhattisgarh, more than 25 ISPs, 3 smart city plans, 20,000 villages, and 1 million square feet commercial real estate, still there is a huge data which is underserved, and the present system is not able to cater to the whole population of Chhattisgarh, thereby calling for immediate introduction of the Wi-Fi scheme as offered under the PM-WANI. You can see a tea shop in Bangalore as a Wi-Fi dabba, that is a PDO, It has been, they are selling basically lemon tea, black tea and all those things at a cost of rupees 10, rupees 20. And see the other end, there is a Wi-Fi dabba which also shows how the internet data is being sold at the small sachets of rupees 10, rupees 20, etc. The next slide, you can see that at rupees 20, they are giving 1 GB data for 24 hours. So these are basically being sold as a small sachets, which is very much convenient for the people in the rural areas or for the people who cannot afford much money to pay. We thank you and close the documentary over here. For more information, you may contact our Director Technology and ADG Technology at the addresses given on the screen. Thank you.